Well, life group leaders, I hope you guys are doing well, and I certainly hope I get to see you guys tomorrow as we join back here for a life group. Just want to give you a quick video. You guys know that we've been talking about what it means to be a disciple. Of course, we started this whole part of our series talking about the fact that a disciple is devoted. Then last week we talked about the fact that a disciple is developing; they're looking more like Jesus. And this week we're going to talk about the fact that a disciple is deployed. They're deployable. They are reflections of Jesus himself on this earth. Just the main points for tomorrow night. First, a disciple is one who values the master more. I think this is so important for our kids to know. And the verse, by the way, I want you to look up. We're going to be studying Luke 14:25 through 27. So we're actually going to be digging into a short part of that text, but this is the text where Jesus, he literally says, if anyone wants to come after me, he must hate his father and mother, wife, children, brothers and sisters, yes, even his own life if he wants to be my disciple. Well, what's it mean to hate? That Greek word there is the same word that we would use for denounce or value less. So what Jesus is literally telling us is that we must value him more than everything. He starts by talking about our family. We must value him more than our family. And then he goes on to say, we must value him even more than ourselves. Wow, isn't that heavy? And so Jesus is saying we have to choose him. We have to see him as more valuable than everything else in the world. And the question for your groups is do you see Jesus as valuable? And what we'll ask tomorrow night is what does a value in Jesus, what does that kind of value look like practically? So the second big point is a disciple is one who imitates Jesus. And Jesus goes on to say, whoever does not bear his own cross and come after me, he cannot be my disciple. We have to literally be willing to do exactly what Jesus did, to pick up our own crosses and come after him. The point there is that we're called to give him everything. We're called to be willing to lose everything for him. The life of Christianity is not always a life of comfort, and we have to be willing to give up comfort and anything else that takes precedence over him. Jesus is the point of it all. It's all about him, and we're called to imitate him in this world if we're going to be deployed for him as a disciple. If we're not willing to do that, we can't be his disciple, period. If we're not willing to make him the most valuable treasure in our lives, or lose our lives for him, we can't be his disciple. That's what he says. And he goes on to finish that amazing section of Scripture talking about the cost. And we'll end on that we have to count the cost. We have to decide